Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I was just starting the transmission, so we'll give my daughter 2-3 minutes to put the link up on the web page. And then just before we start the service, the family has prepared beautiful scriptural readings, and I'm going to invite them. And those readings, I think, represent Mary very well, so I'll invite them to read those, and then we're going to begin the regular service.
But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb, and as she wept, she stooped to look into the tomb, and she saw 2 angels in white sitting where the body of Jesus had lain, one at the head and one at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." Having said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and that he had said these things to her.
The reading is from Isaiah chapter 57, verses 1 and 2. The righteous perish, and no one takes it to heart. The devout are taken away, and no one understands that the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Those who walk uprightly enter into peace. They find rest as they lie in death.
I selected this reading because it's beautiful and it's as if Mary is speaking to us. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which is the Lord. The righteous judge will award to me on that day.
Blessed is our God, always, now, and forever, and to the ages of ages. Amen. Amami et nodo, alleluia, et logikos Kyrie, et indaxon metadike omatasu. Alleluia.
My soul is long for your judgment. Hallelujah.
My soul has grown weary from sorrow. Strengthen me with your words. Hallelujah.
Incline my heart to your revelations, and not too great. Hallelujah.
Despair took hold of me because of the sinners who spurn your law. Hallelujah.
I am a companion of all who fear you, and of those who keep your commands. Hallelujah.
Glory to the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Of now and ever to the ages of ages. Amen. Hallelujah.
Have mercy on us, O God, in your great goodness, we pray to you, hear us and have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Again we pray for the repose of the soul of God's servant Mary, departed this life, and for the forgiveness of her every sin, whether deliberate or unintended.
Lord, have mercy.
That the Lord God will establish her soul with a righteous will. God's mercy is the kingdom of the heavens, and remission of her sins. Let us ask of Christ, our mortal King and God.
Grant this, O Lord.
Let us pray to the Lord.
Lord, have mercy.
For you are the resurrection, the life, and the repose of your departed servant Mary, O Christ, our God. And to you we give glory, as to your Father, so everlasting, your all holy, good, and life-creating Spirit, now and forever into the ages of ages.
Amen.
Ehire sulepi san me ke plasan me sineti son me ke mati son me tasendo.
you have instructed me. Have mercy on me, O Lord.
In return for your mercies, my heart is set on following your commandments until the ages of ages. Have mercy on me, O Lord.
It is time for the Lord to act, for they have broken your law. Have mercy on me, O Lord.
Δόξα Πατρί και Υιό και Υιό Πνεύματι,
Now and forever to the ages of ages. Amen. Have mercy on me, O Lord.
eleison me alleluia, epíβλεψον επενέκε eleison me, κατά το κρίμα των αγαπώντων το όνομα σου, αλληλούια.
I am young and despised, but have not forgotten your commandments. Hallelujah.
Hear my voice, O Lord, in your steadfast love. Quicken me in your justice. Alleluia.
Princes have pursued me without cause, but my heart stands in your arms of your word. Hallelujah.
My soul shall live and praise you, and your law shall be my support. Like a lost sheep I have gone astray. Seek your servant, for I have not forgotten your commandment. Ευλογητός η Κύριε, διδάξον με τα δικαιώματά σου. Των Αγίων όρος ευρεπηγή της ζωής και θύραν παραδείσου. Ευρωκαγώ την οδόν δια της μετανοίας, ο Απόλλωνος προβατών εγώ ημί, ανακάλεσε με σωτήρ και σώσον με.
Blessed are you, O Lord, teach me your statutes. You who are both only from the things that would not and make me worthy of your divine image. Bring me back again to the sacred likeness. The ancient beauty may be full anew. Blessed
Are you, O Lord, teach me your statutes. Though I bear the scars of transgressions, I am still an image of your glory. Be merciful with your figure, mighty Lord. Cleanse it through your great compassion. And do grant me the much longed for ancient fatherland, making me again citizen of paradise.
Blessed are you, O Lord, teach me your statutes. Give me rest, O God of your faithful servant, and assign nearer them a place in paradise, where the choirs of saints, O Lord, and the righteous will be forth in luminary. Your departed servant, Master, do we put to rest, disregarding all accusation.
Glory to the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, the threefold light of the one divinity. Let us piously extol in song. Holy are you, everlasting Father, co-eternal Son and divine Spirit. Shine your light on us who adore you in faith, and from the eternal fire deliver us.
Both now and ever, and to the grace has formed this salvation. Now we discover paradise, Theotokos pure ever blessed.
Alleluia, 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 doxa sio Theos.
Alleluia, 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 glory to you, O God.
Alleluia, 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 doxa sio Theos. Metaton agio anapason Christe Give rest, O Christ, give rest among the saints to the soul of your servant Mary, where there is no pain, no sorrow, no grieving, but life everlasting.
Amen.
Amen. Ia tu Diu trifini, amen, imitis ametos, ia doxa esti kenepis ametathetos, pandas kias astelestera, panda oniron apatilotera, mia ropi ke tafta panda thanatos diadehete, alento foti Christe tu prosopusu, que doglicas motis oreotitos, in exelexo anapavson os philanthropos. Every mortal is like a flower that withers, a passing dream that vanishes. Yet, when the trumpet sounds, all the dead will rise up as in an earthquake to meet you, Christ our God. Will you then, Master, assign a place where your saints abide, for the soul of her whom you have summoned from our midst? All human pursuits are vain. They have no being after death. Wealth does not remain. Glory does not accompany along the way. Once death befalls, all these vanish utterly. So let us cry to the immortal Christ, give rest to her who has left our company in the dwelling place of all who rejoice. Truly awesome is the mystery of death, how the soul's harmony with the body is violently broken, how the natural bond that unites them is severed by the divine will. Therefore we entreat you, giver of life and lover of mankind, to your servant Mary, now departed, grant rest where the righteous dwell. I call to mind the prophet crying, I am but dust and ashes, and I study the tombs once more, consider the naked bones, and ask myself now, which of these was king, and which the common soldier? Which was the rich man, which the indigent? which man was upright and which a sinner? But Lord, in your compassion, your servant give rest among the righteous. Your creating command became my beginning and my being. For it was your will to bring together visible and invisible nature to fashion me a living creature. You shaped my body from the earth, then gave me a spirit by your divine and quickening breath. Wherefore, O Savior, give rest to your servant in the land of the living, where the righteous dwell. O Savior, giver of life, grant rest to our sister whom you have called away from temporal things, crying out to you, glory to you, O Lord. I weep and lament when I ponder death, when I see our beauty formed in God's image lying in the tombs bereft of form, disfigured without glory. Oh, the wonder of it! How did this mystery befall us? How we were given over to decay? How were we paired with death? Surely as it is written by the command of God, who give rest to the departed. Glory to the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Your death, O Lord, became the cause of immortality. For had you not lain in the tomb, then paradise would not have been opened. Wherefore, as loving God, give rest to her who is now parted from us, both now and ever, into the ages of ages. Amen.
Pure Virgin gave wisdom for the Word, Mother of God, and to see that is her soul have no mercy.
Blessed ever be the way on which you walk this day, for there is prepared for you a place of everlasting rest.
Blessed ever be the way on which you walk this day, for there is prepared for you a place of everlasting rest.
Let us be attentive. Wisdom.
The reading is from the first epistle of the Holy Apostle Paul to the Thessalonians.
Let us be attentive.
Brethren, we would not have you ignorant concerning those who are asleep, that you may not grieve as others do who have no hope. For since we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so, through Jesus, God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep. For this we declare to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, shall not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of command, with the archangel's call, and with the sound of the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive, who are left, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore, comfort one another with these words.
Peace be with you, the reader.
And with your spirit.
Amen.
is coming and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son also to have life in himself, and has given him authority to execute judgment, because he is the Son of Man. Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming when all who are in the tombs will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of judgment. I can do nothing on my own authority. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father who sent me.
Glory to you, O God. Glory to you.
Have mercy on us, O God, your great goodness, we pray to you. Hear us and have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Again, we praise for the repose of the soul of God's servant Mary, departed this life, for the forgiveness of her every sin, whether deliberate or unintended.
Lord, have mercy.
That the Lord God will establish her soul in a righteous dwell. God's mercy is the kingdom of the heavens and remission of her sins. Let us ask of Christ, our mortal King and God.
Grant this, O Lord.
Let us pray to the Lord.
Lord, have mercy.
God of spirits and of all mankind, as you trample down death, overthrow the evil one, and granting life to your world, will you, Lord, grant rest to your servant Mary, now asleep in death, in a place of light, a place of renewed life, a joyous place, shunned alike by pain and sorrow and sighing. Every sin she may have committed in word, deed, or thought, as our good and loving God, forgive. For no one can live and not sin. You alone are without sin. Your righteousness endures forever, and your word is truth.
Amen.
Odisi Anastasis, η ζωή και ανάπαυσης της και κινημένης δούλης σου Μαρίας, Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών, και συ την δόξα να αναπέμπομεν, συν το ανάρκο σου Πατρί και το Παναγίο και αγαθό και ζωβιό σου Πνεύματι, νυν και αΐ, και εις τους αιώνας των αιώνων.
Amen.
Glory to you, O God, our hope. Glory to you. May he, who is sovereign of the living and the dead, who is immortal King, rose from the dead, Christ our true God, through the prayers of his all pure, holy Mother, of the holy, glorious, and praiseworthy apostles, of our holy God-bearing fathers, of the holy and glorious forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his beloved friend Lazarus, the holy and just, who lay for days in the tomb of all the saints, assigned the soul of his servant Maria, departed from our midst, where the righteous dwell, granting it rest in the bosom of Abraham and numbering her among the just. And may he have mercy on us, for he is good and loves mankind. Αιωνία σου ημί αξιομακάριστος και αείμνηστος αδελφοί ημών. May your memory be eternal, our sister, worthy to be deemed happy and ever to be remembered. Eternal be her dear brothers and sisters, we come here today, a very special moment, to say goodbye to somebody so dear to all of us. This Sunday, at the end of the service, I was telling people that I'm going to be on vacation, but I'm not going to be too far because I'm going to be in the Boston area. And then I said, well, we'll gather together. I explained to them how we can gather together today. And then I just said, and I know Mary's not too far either. And I realized that that's truly how it feels. And I'll try to explain why. First of all, let me just say two things about Mary in the few years that I was privileged enough to know her. Two things that she's done for this church, among many. But these two things she kept doing almost till her last months. And those were singing in the choir and serving at St. Basil. I like very much the choir, and I spend a lot of time with them, and I've been in many choirs. Usually people, when they get older, their energy goes and they can't really sing up there. I think Mary's the only true soprano that I've seen remaining a soprano even after 95, and she came to every rehearsal, and she was always, there's that smile, that positive atmosphere that she brought there. She was such an inspiration. And same thing with St. Basil. A few months ago, when before we closed, I was checking people in, and this lady comes and she asks about Mary. And just in the last few months she was not able to volunteer anymore, but she told me, I used to come here and then I came back for Mary. Not so much for the food, for fellowship. She just missed her smile, being there and welcoming all those people every Monday. So she came back to our soup kitchen just for Mary. This was how strong an impression she made on people. And there is something about her that has to do with life. She has reached, even on this side of death, she has reached that kind of harmony, that kind of peace that radiated from her, that is not normally just biological life, that's life eternal. She has reached it from here. It was obvious to everybody who met her. That's why I'm saying she's not far, because for her it was such a small step from here to eternity. She was already living it. And she's just there a little bit ahead of us until that time that we're going to rejoin her. But it's just an amazing experience to be in the presence of such a person. And we were also privileged to have known her. And remember always, she's not far, she's just a prayer away. You can still talk to her. She can still hear you. And so I know how difficult it is a separation, especially for the family. But it's just for a while. It's just for a while. And Mary's still smiling on us. She's still, look at her beautiful smile right here. I was looking at her throughout the service. You're going to see that again when I turn the casket. This is just how she looked in life, as always smiling, always giving you confidence that the world is good and that there is a way to live this life that makes the world good and makes the world better. In fact, as an aside, speaking now, we said about her stepping into eternity, but even on the biological side, she was so strong. Most of us, when we go to the doctor, we're told, well, you shouldn't do as much of this and be careful with that. And with her, it was different. She went to the doctor was asking her, what is it that she's doing that she can be so well? So, again, even with all the sadness, we rejoice because of who she was and who she still is. And we're so grateful to have a messenger on behalf of our community that is there with the Lord and waiting for us to join her. May God rest her in peace. We're gonna ask the funeral directors to turn the casket one more time, and then as you say goodbye, we're gonna proceed then directly to the cars and to the cemetery, very close to do the interment service as well. May God rest her in peace. I'll mention one more thing. Ron also was a volunteer at the soup kitchen for years, and this is the very first service that he does. He came especially for Mary to do the service today. Again, she means so much for all of us, so thank you, Ron.
Folks, I'm just going to ask for the pallbearers to step forward.